And in this solo episode of the Happy Hustle podcast, we're talking about living your message. Because if you don't live your message, you suck as the messenger. And I want to actually share with you how you can live your message more true in this episode of the Happy Hustle podcast. So we are going to be diving into this episode of the Happy Hustle podcast. Do you want blissful balance in your personal and professional life? Great. What's up, guys? My name is Cary Jack, and I want to help you happy hustle a life you love, one full of passion, purpose, and positive impact. I'm a lifestyle entrepreneur, a professional model / actor, a digital marketing specialist, a podcast host, author, a biohacker, an eco-warrior, a martial artist, a hippie cowboy, and a humanitarian. My goal is to educate, inspire, and entertain you to live a life of passion, purpose, and positive impact. It is time to happy hustle your dream reality. Yee! What is up, you beautiful happy hustlers out there? Cary Jack here, and I got some hard truth for you. If you are not living your message, you suck as the messenger. And I know it hurts, but it's the damn truth. Okay, if you're not living your message, you suck as the messenger. That's the truth. And I know in this personal development, self-help, online guru space, there is a lot of people who are not living their message. They're just not. They talk about it, but they don't be about it. And in this episode, I want to share with you how you can actually live your message and how I live my message of happy hustling, a life that I love, both personally and professionally. And again, I'm not perfect. I don't claim to be, but I do know that I have to be authentically true and live my message. And I want to share with you how I do that. So let's go. Now, first and foremost, I want you to just think about if you are or are not living your message authentically true right now. And, I'm not judging you. I don't want you to even judge yourself. I just want you to take stock in if you are or you aren't. Like, think about if your actions actually align with your words, what you say you're going to do, what you're going to put out in the world, what you talk about. Do your actual actions align? And if they don't, then you're not living your message. And this is for you. So I want you to just think first and foremost about that, component, because awareness is the first step in any true transformation. You have to be aware that you're not living your message if you're not. If you are, great, then this is going to help you double down on your message. But this is a big component that I want to talk about, living your message, being very authentic and true. Throughout what you talk about, you have to have the actions that back it up. I currently am in Florida right now. I'm actually not in my office in Montana. I'm recording this from the beach, or at least really close to it, and I'm working on my tan. And I bring with me, everywhere I go, my Happy Hustle Blissful Balancer. It gets a little, beat up on travel, but this is how I live my message of happy hustling, a life that I actually love, one full of blissful balance, both personally and professionally. This is what keeps me on track. This is my soul mapping proprietary framework that I leverage to make sure that I am staying true to my message so that I am leading by example. And this is something that I want you to think about for yourself. Do you have a way to ensure that you are actually living your message? Do you have a system or a framework that you can lean on to actually ensure you are living your message, right? And if you don't, I want you to create one. I want you to actually think about how you can take what you talk about and put it into action, a system that can help people, not only, yourself, but help other people recreate your results. I think the most powerful people who you and I probably both admire are the people who don't talk about, a concept, but they talk about an experience. They talk about how they did something, how I, versus the ladder of how to, right? Like how I actually travel to Florida and wherever else I go with my blissful balancer, my action tasks, keeping track of my balance in each of these 10 areas of life, these 10 alignments, right? I have my personal goal of the week, my professional goal of the week, my message to myself, etc. This is how I live my message in integrity, and I continue to do so, right? This is something that I don't think enough people actually are authentic and live their message. And when you can just flip it from how to how I did something, this is when you can really resonate with people, and really you can share from those personal stories and experiences how you got the result. So I want you to just think, first and foremost, are you living your message in integrity? Yes or no. And then how you are living it, if so, or how you can, the system behind it. You got to show people what's possible. You have to be the transformation success story, at least the first one. Then you can help other people do the same. My good buddy Rory Vaden talks about you are most perfectly positioned to help who you were 5 years ago, right? You are most perfectly positioned to help who you were 5 years ago. So think about if you are unsure about your message, or what really you want to talk about. That's a whole nother episode. We've went through, the 3 questions that you should ask yourself. You can go to caryjack.com and the podcasting page and go to that solo episode where I ask the 3 questions that you need to be your beacon of light for your brand DNA. These are from Brand Builders Group, but I will say living your message in integrity, you have to first know what the heck your message is. So I'm assuming you do know your message. But when you are actually sharing your message, you are the transformation, success story number 1. Then you can change the lives of others. But you have to be true to yourself, true to your message, and live it every single day. And I host something called the Happy Hustle Club, which you may or may not know about. But all of these individuals, these high-performing entrepreneurs who are crushing it in their respective industries, we all keep track of our blissful balancers every single week. We keep track of our 10 alignments, and what kind of facilitator would I be if I didn't do it myself? Real quick, did you know that 4 out of every 5 Americans are actually deficient in magnesium? And magnesium actually plays a ton of different roles inside the body. Specifically, it helps you to decrease the cortisol levels in your body. Those stress hormones. It helps you to actually build stronger bones. It helps you improve the sleep quality. So if you're not sleeping well, maybe you're deficient in magnesium. Also, it helps you promote healthy blood pressure. And that is why I take Magnesium Breakthrough by Bioptimizers. This stuff is legit. Let me tell you, it is packed with 7 different forms of magnesium in the proper ratios. And it really does make a difference. Like, you can actually tell when you take it. A lot of supplements, you really can't tell a difference. But with Magnesium Breakthrough, you actually can tell. So the best part is you actually get the hookup. They're doing a Black Friday annual sale that is going to blow your socks off. You can go to bioptimizers.com/happy and save big on all of their different products. 25%, baby. That's huge. You can go to bioptimizers.com/happy to save big for their annual Black Friday sale. And I gotta say, my favorite part about Bioptimizers is they actually stand behind their stuff. They have a 365-day money-back guarantee on all of their products. So if you don't like it for whatever reason, send it back. But I'm almost sure you're gonna love it. So check it out, bioptimizers.com/happy. Now let's get back to this episode. Peace and love, y'all, right? They would look at me like, Cary, why aren't you leading by example? Why aren't you actually doing what you talk about? Then I'll break the trust with them, and then they will be less likely to get the results themselves because they'll see myself as out of integrity or not doing what I say I'm going to do. And a lot of you right now, maybe you right now listening, if you resonate with this, have broken the trust of your people, your tribe, your clients, your customers in some way, shape, or form. And it's probably because you weren't living your message. this is, you see this with fitness trainers, right? Who like they get obese or overweight, but yet, they're preaching fitness and diet and exercise and nutrition and healthy habits, but yet you look at them and they don't look like they're in good health, and unfortunately it's hard to take advice from someone who doesn't live their message. You look at someone who, preaches like eco-conscious living and being a sustainable advocate for the environment, right? And then they are doing things like using single-use plastic or flying private on their jet, right? Or whatever. Like, there's a lot of these examples in different industries of people not being congruent with their message, not being authentically true. And you have to be able to look at yourself in the mirror at the end of the day and just be honest and say, am I living my message or not? Because if you're not living your message, again, you suck as the messenger. So you got to change it. And if you're not having the success that you really desire, maybe it's because you're not living your message. Maybe it's because you're not doing what you say you're going to do. This is a really little thing that, maybe you say, oh yeah, Cary, I've heard this before. I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I'm living my message. Maybe you're saying that to yourself. Maybe you're actually thinking, wow, maybe I'm not. That's for you to decide. I just want to pose the question because the little thing of living your message, like being authentic and true, is actually a massive differentiator. Because there's not a lot of people out there living their message, being true. There's relationship gurus that I have actually learned from. And then I find out behind closed doors, they have a relationship full of angst and despair. And they have 3 divorces under their belt or something like that. It's like, what? I don't want to take advice from anyone that I would not truly trade places with, both personally and professionally. That's my rule when it comes to learning from others. And the big red flag is if they're living their message. So I don't want to beat a dead horse here with this concept. I do just want you to take stock in, are you living your message, yes or no? If you are not living your message, what do you need to do to live your message? What system or routine do you need to be, putting in place for yourself so that you can live your message and that others can then replicate, right? You got to take your own medicine. I take my own medicine. I do my blissful balancer every single day. This is part of my brand, part of my mission to help you happy hustle a life that you love, one full of that blissful balance personally and professionally. And it really, it would not make sense if I wasn't doing it for myself. If I wasn't happy hustling myself, right? You wouldn't want to listen. You wouldn't. If I was working more and making no money and being unhappy and didn't have the quality of life, why would you take advice from me? You wouldn't, right? The fact that I typically work around 20 hours per week, make plenty of money to support my lifestyle, help my family, my friends, and as well as support causes that I believe in, and then show up as the best husband, brother, son, dog, dad, friend that I can be, and continue to evolve. Again, I'm not perfect. I don't claim to be at all. I have my flaws. Sometimes I miss a day where I'll know I didn't do what I said I was going to do. And that's just part of life. You learn, you grow, you evolve and iterate. This is, you got to give yourself grace in some capacity, but the majority of the time I'm happy hustling. I'm doing what I said I'm going to do. I'm helping others. And I just think if you want to be a leader, if you want to achieve greatness in whatever capacity, you have to live your message. You have to stand for something, and you got to keep it real and share how you achieve those results and that success, not how to in this blanket format where a lot of the gurus talk about, I like to call them the fake gurus, right? My buddy Chad coined it, but I do love that term because there's a lot of gurus out there standing in front of the the rented Bentley or Lamborghini, and then they have the video girls that they paid by the hour to be behind them or go out with them or whatever. Like, there's a lot of gurus out there, and you look at them, they're not living their message. They're not being real. And people now, more so than ever, they have a high BS meter. People can see, they can see who the real cats are. They're like, nah, this person, they're faking it. They're really not keeping it real. They're not true. Don't be that person. Just live your message, be authentic, and help others by leading the transformation for yourself first and foremost, and then creating that system around it so that people can reverse engineer the process and replicate your results. So that is the message today. Short, sweet, to the point. If you're not living your message, you suck as the messenger, right? So don't suck as the messenger. Just be a happy hustler who is living their message and living in integrity. And you will actually see it's a far more fulfilling way to live. So I hope you got some value from this. If you did and you want to go a little deeper, check out my copy, or you can get your copy of my book, The Happy Hustle, which is 10 alignments to avoid burnout and achieve blissful balance. You can get it at thehappyhustlebook.com for free right now. And you just have to help out with shipping and handling. So it's worth your while if you do want to dive deeper. But regardless, start to live your message and do not suck as the messenger any longer, and stay in integrity with what you are talking about. All right, y'all. I love you. I am out. Peace.